I'm going to do a little background on my Lyme interest. Um, as a kid growing up, I remember doing a video project over at the local park, and I pulled some part to jump into a lake filled with seaweed. There's technically not a lake, this would technically be a pond, like getting down to the bottom in that. My father, D.O., warned me about this thing called Lyme disease, and I laughed it off. He said, be careful, you could get ticks on you, they're in there. They're around that park. So I did the project anyways, and I don't think I got Lyme disease that day. I don't know when or how I got it. To my knowledge, I never had a bullseye rash. I remember being bit by a bug when I was like 8 years old. Forearm went from, a little 8-year-old's forearm to, the size, like my forearm now, and I was 8. But anyways, during discussion over lunch with an on-med trainer and a current Lyme patient, said, well, I've got exposure to Lyme. I've got exposure to ticks, mosquitoes. I think now in Georgia it's certified that mosquitoes carry Lyme disease, but those mosquitoes are different than mosquitoes, say, in Connecticut, New Jersey, Michigan, cited as a couple years ago as the second worst state for Lyme disease in animals by the Veterinary Society, while at the same time not even being recognized for people. And therein, that's just part of the political arena of Lyme disease. Anyways, getting back to this argument, I wanted to win the argument, so I went to IGenx, paid the $215 for the test. And that thing came back positive. And I was working at the clinic, the Longevity Center, West Michigan. And the manager at the time, she comes up and she says, Jordy, this came back positive. I said, okay. I took a half a course of antibiotics, I think, before I went to Germany. When I know that I got rid of it and I didn't have too many symptoms ever, but I know I got rid of it by whole body hyperthermia. And I won't tell you that it was Yandamed, which is definitely good at tailoring around symptoms of Lyme, which are caused by the toxins and not the bacteria. The biggest of which being ammonia. You can take butyrate for that. And the PAC-Cane protocol, fantastic supplement regimen for someone with Lyme. And I think if you took that protocol, not going to get rid of the Lyme, but it'll get rid of your symptoms, because it gets rid of the toxins and improves your immunity. It's all a lot about cell membrane restructuring, a lot of phosphatidylcholine, etc. But I had some joint pain. I had some brain fog. It was just real mild stuff. Sometimes see families, and the dad will be the outdoorsman. The guy is in the old sense, is the hunter-gatherer, the provider. So he's out in nature, and this very unnatural thing, Lyme disease, happens to him, but might not affect him. And then, say he uses a toothbrush or drools on it, somehow he gives it to the wife, and somehow the kids end up getting it with no exposure ever to out there. It could be sexually transmitted, just like syphilis. Syphilis is a spirochete, and if that can be transmitted sexually, why couldn't Lyme? All these stupid hypotheticals, so that's how I got it. That's why I'm really interested in Lyme disease. That's why I want to know where the F it came from. I don't know if the Jesse Ventura conspiracy theory on Plum Island, that's great, but there's also books on Russia bringing it over on furs. and eating away the enemy. I don't know if that's the enemy in the sense that middle, lower class, non-elites, etc., are the enemy of the upper class, or on the whole nationality thing of it. Russians versus the U.S. and the up in arms. Either way, Lyme reproduces so fast, and it is so quick. The onset's so strong, and it's thought to be behind some very, very serious diseases. Sounds like a weapon to me, and that's my stand on it. That's what it's been for a long time. I like to test myself for these Lyme frequencies constantly. These new proprietary ones, they seem to work great. I've always liked the Hilda Clark frequencies. Just when I got the PFG originally, experimenting with people, Lyme disease patients, and not sure of my abilities. If they sign up for an on-demand treatment, you're going to get a PFG at the end of that. And that's the same today. You know, my cash patients, they're going to get, you know, the best of the lymph detoxification with the on-demand. They're going to get the high frequency Lyme ones. Now, a guy who I worked with when I went to the Longevity Center Med Spa above the Longevity Center in West Michigan, where the supplements ended up being sold out of, a guy named Lee said, well, on-med's great, but it doesn't do high frequencies. You need high frequencies to do microorganisms. And I was like, what the heck is this guy on about? But turns out you want a wavelength, that distance, you know, and the speed of light to match the size of the microorganism. You don't want to use a lower octave of that. You want to hit it right on. And for bacteria, that's, I think, 40,000 or 50,000 to 400,000. That's probably why the Hilda Clark frequencies work so well, and why those patients that I started testing with the LSA Pro and testing, well, not testing, but running them with a PFG2Z and running the Hilda Clark frequencies, they wouldn't test for Lyme anymore, you know, after 13 visits or so. And it's not blood work, but I told you how expensive the blood work is, $215 or so, and that was in 2006. So I'm just here to say, just because you don't have symptoms doesn't mean you don't have it. I never really experienced too many symptoms at all, and the symptoms overlap with B1 and magnesium deficiency. The Lyme Disease and Rife Machines books points out that there's always a magnesium deficiency with people that have Lyme disease. It's something that's also very important to take for electrical conductivity and as an electrolyte, as well as any muscle stiffness and 300 reactions of the body. But Lyme seems to deplete this. Please take it if you even suspect that you have Lyme disease or heart disease in the family. The magnesium is the key, really. Yeah, but that's my Lyme story. It's not I was debilitated, but I do have proof. I've got proof. You want to see the papers? I'll show you the papers. I mean, I got the paper on my Facebook. I scanned it in. I had at least one non-believer. Now people, I showed it to a group of people when I was talking to them about PFG and pulse technologies, and they didn't want to see it. Of course, they didn't have positive blood work either, but they didn't want to see my positive blood work, which is aggravating. You know, I spent the money. I proved that I have it. I'm not saying it's disease based on symptoms. Yeah, maybe, but it should show up in blood work somewhere down the line, somewhere. Or else, how do you know that it is what you're treating? Again, thanks for watching. I'm just trying to pump out a couple more videos. I've got only 39, or this will make 40, I think. Yeah, you don't have to suffer. Like half a course of antibiotics, I probably have that bottle still from years ago. And that won't treat a tooth infection. Big shout out to HM Saunas. Follow him on Twitter, and I did turn on my buddy Logan. And those saunas and heat, hyperthermia, uses far infrared heaters to heat your body up to 180 degrees for a duration of 6 hours. Of course, they pump in anticoagulant to keep your blood from clotting. Yeah, get an infrared sauna. The infrared saunas are good for anyone anyways. They detox plastics. Nothing detoxes plastics. The BPA's, the estrogen, and endocrine disruptors. It's one of the only things. We had a doctor come in, and he sent in a sweat sample wrung out from a towel, and sent it to Genova Diagnostics Laboratories, and they said they found everything in high quantities: pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals. Heavy metals aren't going to be the greatest in quantity, but detergents, soaps, those things are going to be higher. But also plastics. There's no plastics in there. It's all cedar. People said high-tech problems require a high-tech solution. Infrared is pretty low-tech. We get it from fires, we get it from the sun, etc. Check into it, for sure. I know it's helped me tremendously. It's helped, I don't know, count the ways. Other sauna companies change names. Healthmate's been around for I think 30 plus years. They have a lifetime warranty on theirs. It kind of means something when they've been around 30, 40 years. I saw a 25-year-old one on eBay that still worked. I have a patient currently that has at least a 10, 15-year-old model, because they had the dial to crank the temperature up and down, instead of the electronic interface that comes with it now with the timers and everything. I don't mean to do a plug for a company. Heat is an enemy of Lyme disease, for certain, and that's why I think a lot of people don't like to sweat, because I think it's their disease that wants to create the best environment for itself, preserve itself. So you ask yourself those questions: do I like to be cold? Do I hate to sweat? Or is it the disease? And that's batty. That's crazy, right? Look into it.